Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Manny Diaz Show. Joe Zagacki alongside Don Bailey Jr. and, of course, University of Miami head coach Manny Diaz. It is after Florida, the autopsy after the Florida Gators. And, Coach, what a wild night in Orlando. Hurricanes and the Gators put on a show. Not always pristine, but nonetheless, it was a great show.
It was. These opening games without a preseason tune-up game, they're going to be sometimes a little hard on the eye, but not short on effort, not short on intensity, not short on fight from both teams, which I was proud of our guys. That's something that we had stressed all off season, and to really bring the fight to Florida and to be able to sustain that for 60 minutes was encouraging to see.
Coach, you talked about it all the time. You wanted your Miami team, the new Miami team, to have backbone, and they showed up and had backbone, and there was a lot of opportunity for them to go the other way, like we'd seen in the past, but it certainly didn't happen.
No, I thought our guys were confident that we were going to win the football game until the final play. I really believe that, and we had this mentality that something good is always about to happen.
Right.
And even the we get stopped on a fourth down in the fourth quarter, and the next play we come back and intercept the pass, and it's just that constant. We always found a way, and the adversity in the first half, they get us on a touchdown, and then we get backed up a couple of times. We kind of start to stall a little bit, and they driving on us. What's going to happen? Bang! Get a turnover down in our red zone, and the guys just always found a way, and I thought that was a resiliency that you need to be a great team.
There are so many talking points in this game, from turnover chain to touchdown rings to strategy, and we'll get to all of that. But I did want to ask you this. You mentioned the first game, a big game like this, and you have more of them scheduled in the future. They're not always going to be a beauty contest. I think we're always asked before this game, well, how do you feel about playing a big opponent first? Because perhaps if you played this game in November, the execution would be high, would be a little bit better.
Right.
But did you like playing a great opponent right off the bat?
I did. I thought it was great for our summer. Mm-hmm. It was great for our off-season program. But I think it's worth considering some of the differences between us and them.
Yeah.
We were the ones debuting two freshman tackles. We were the one debuting a center playing in his first, start. We were the one debuting a quarterback, really getting his first real ever college football minutes when you're really, calling it for what it is. So, we had some execution errors and some things like that, and also year one in a system. Yeah. So part of our warts were a little bit to be expected. But that won't always be our case. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? This will be the last time it's our first game as a program, and we're going to have some guys that are gaining some experience. So you'll always have some new roles, but not like this. Mm-hmm. So I feel really good about the way we battled, and I look forward to all these games we have in the future with whoever we have to play.
Mm-hmm. Manny, so much was spent time-wise on the new quarterback and the new tackles, but you had pretty much a new secondary. You had a couple new faces on the defensive line as well, and a lot of those guys got meaningful minutes, so to speak, for the first time.
Yeah, I thought everybody, what was neat to see was that at every stop along the way, there's not a guy that could say, I did not compete in a manner that could give us the opportunity to win the football game. Mm-hmm. But one of the great things, and, coaches throw out the adage, we win as a team, we lose as a team, and sometimes that's kind of the, that can be coach speak. But this was a great example where all three phases did enough good things to help us win the game, and all three phases in every position group and really every player had a play that helped get us beat. So it's something that we can own together as a team, coaches included, and say, look, we can give ourselves a chance to beat anybody now on any given day, and I think our guys have the confidence in that, which I don't think we really did prior to Saturday. Now, what loses games? And let's not repeat the things that lose football games.
Coach Eno said, I see Jaron Williams not for what he is, but what he can be.
Right.
And I imagine what you guys think he can be now after watching the first game is something really, really special.
Yeah. I mean, how are you going to practice getting the experience of leading your team down the field in a 1-minute drill situation against a top 10 opponent in Orlando with both fan bases going, bananas? I mean, that experience that he got in that situation, that there's no telling how beneficial that'll be down the road. So again, and not just him, but the linemen, the secondary, everybody else. So it's a great learning experience for everybody on our football team. One that we still wish we would have won the football game. We didn't go there to learn. We went there to win. But we're going to take a lot out of it going forward.
Manny, we had him as always in our post-game show, and the impression I got is that He learned a ton because I asked him. He says, "Yeah, I got to start looking more downfield when I'm starting getting out of the pocket." But also, it was impressive is how composed he was.
Right.
He never seemed to get rattled on the field after the game at any point during those 60 minutes.
I agree, and you hope that's the case. You can kind of think that'll be the case, but you don't ever know until you get a guy in that environment, and it's hard to tell. And I thought Jaron was cool the whole time. I thought the players responded to him very well. I thought our whole sideline was like that. I thought our sideline demeanor, our temperament, it was a very positive place to be, no matter what was, things were going good or not so well on the field.
For you, was your first game as head coach, moving over from one spot, and often that's what everybody says, just move over 6 inches, but it's a long way to go. What was the best part for you?
Just the entire evening.
Yeah.
I mean, you just love mixing it up in those type games, and the fact that you're seeing, for me, I just love watching the Miami Hurricanes play like Miami Hurricanes, and to see our guys running around and competing and looking like we're having fun playing football and just being us. And when that happens, our guys can express themselves, so to me, to be able to watch our guys play after all the work that I know that they went through, for me, that was my greatest part.
One of my greatest parts was seeing Manny Diaz be Manny Diaz when you got in front of your guys and started communicating with them. Not just as a head coach, but as a position coach and as a guy that was formerly on that side of the football. And one thing I did notice, every eye was on you.
Yeah. I don't think I'd understand what I was saying, but I might have been speaking in tongues at that moment. But yeah, I mean, my job says head football coach, and it's still important that I coach this football team. So on both sides of the ball, it's important that they hear my voice, and we certainly for a while in the game our tackling was going to get us beat, and ultimately it may have. We take a lot of pride in being the best tackling team in the stadium that day, and we were, but only by default because their tackling was so much worse than ours. We didn't tackle the way the Miami Hurricanes should tackle, so they were getting some strong encouragement that if they wanted to win the game, they needed to start to tackle.
4 turnovers, and the turnover chain comes out, the third edition of the turnover chain, and this one says 305 on it.
Yeah, 3.0.
Yeah.
Turnover chain 3.0 is 305.
Yeah.
So it's great, again, what are we always looking for? Something that's inherently Miami, and so 305 just seemed to make sense, and I thought they did a great job making it, and just the way that it shines is pretty cool. And then to see it 4 times on the first night, actually, if you think about it, it's our best opening game in the last 3 years of the turnover chain. I don't think we saw it in Texas last year, and then Bethune-Cookman, we barely saw it in its debut back in 17. So it was great to have it come out. But not only did it come out 4 times, but they were all crucial situations in the game.
Yeah, no question. The rings, touchdown ring.
That's right. Well, so we knew the offense had to have something, right? But the chain, you can't replicate the chain. The chain's the chain. So but everybody does like shiny objects, right? So the next thing, let's keep, ice up the hands. We got the neck taken care of. So the rings, and the other neat thing about the rings is that we thought that could be something that could actually be a 2-person deal, right? Because you might have a guy throw the touchdown pass to a receiver. The guy, quarterback may never hold it. So he may call sneak on purpose when he gets down there just so he can score. So something that, like 2 guys can maybe put their hands together and, that type of thing. I think that might be something you see more going forward.
Well, what about pick 6, right? Would that be a double?
They can have it all, man. They can have the rings. And hey, listen, like I said, I'm for whatever. I know that the more touchdowns and turnovers we get, the more games we're going to win.
All right, that would be interesting. Very good thinking. We do like our rings around here also, even though we think we've been shorted by 1 in history. You did mention the turnovers, and they were big, especially at the end of the game. Finley came up with a huge interception. Those turnovers really did change the momentum of the game, and I think tossing the turnover chain in there also moving forward, I think it might have that same effect that it's had in the past psychologically.
Well, you can see it now, but here's one of the things when you unpack why we lost the game. Our team goal is not get more turnovers, it's points off turnovers, because what matters is what you do with them. We turned Florida over 4 times and got 3 points out of it. Florida turned over once and got 7. 7 minus 3 is 4. We lost the game by 4. So it's not very hard for our guys to understand why we lost the game. So as much as we want that great momentum from getting the turnover, now the responsibility falls upon the offense to go make it happen and to go get points. Conversely, if we were to turn the ball over, which is going to happen, and now we had a catastrophic one on a punt, put us back out on the short field. We stopped first down, we stopped second down. We had a chance to stop 3rd and 9 or something around like that, and we give up a touchdown. Where if we could have made them kick, it's a 1-point game now, that last drive. You know, it completely changes your end of game strategy. So defensively, they have to take as much as the 4 turnovers are great. If we turn the ball over, it is their job to stop, put the fire out on those sudden change situations.
A couple fakes on both sides with special teams. Let's talk about special teams. And then Lou Henley, he makes his debut as a Hurricane, and a lot more improvement, let's say, from last year's numbers.
It was, and they gave us some looks early on that you know, we were backed up a lot, so sometimes, you know, we had to really get it out of there real quick. So I still think the full Headley will be unveiled here shortly. He got better as the game went on, though. Obviously, the fake punt that they had, you know, we actually had guys popping out to play the fake. They only needed 2.5 yards, and they got 3.5. You know, their punt's pretty fast, but we still feel like we should have played it better. Our fake field goal, it set up perfectly for it. It was a situation where we were not trying to go up by 6. We wanted to go up by 10 and really put the pressure on them to have to drop back and throw against us, which we didn't think they could do. You know, a very unfortunate holding penalty. Mm-hmm. And but then luckily they helped us out with the late hit. Really could have been 1st and goal at the 3. You have a chance to go up by 10. Really, you know, seize the game by the neck. And instead, we end up having to kick a field goal again, which we miss. They turn that around and go right down and score what eventually turns out to be the game-winning touchdown. So really, that sequence of events, and that's why I talk about all 3 phases owning the loss. You know, special teams, you know, or offense not being able to cash in, and then the special teams unit missing the field goal, and then beyond that, you know, the defense giving up the long drive for the touchdown. That was really the defining moment of the game.
We thought Jaron could throw the ball pretty well, and he made some spectacular throws. I thought the one to Jeff Thomas, not the pylon, he really threaded the needle on that one and made a couple of really nice throws down the middle as well.
Yeah, I thought one of the best throws that Jaron made was there was about 3.5 minutes left in the first half, and we had a 3rd down and long. We make a real big deal. We call it the middle 8, and that's the last 4 minutes of the first half and the first 4 minutes of the second half. That little 8-minute period. There's a lot of data that shows the teams that outscore their opposition during that time win the game. And 3rd and long, Jaron, great ball to Jeff Thomas over the middle. And I think that, you know, we ended up DJ on the long screen, and that's when we got the touchdown to Brevin. So, but that 3rd down play, nothing happens without him making throwing a dart in right there.
All right, much more to chew over with University of Miami head coach Manny Diaz. We'll continue with our breakdown right after this.
It's time for the breakdown with Manny Diaz, and we're going to review some special plays from the University of Florida University of Miami football game. And Manny, let's start out play 1. Brevin Jordan's touchdown catch was in the second quarter, right before the half, and gave Miami a good opportunity.
Yeah, it really did. And we talk about being great in the middle 8. So right, we got 52 seconds left right before halftime. 1st down and 20. Okay, so we're, you know, kind of backed up, and also of importance, we're out of timeouts. So Florida, again, probably trying to get a sack right here, knowing that we're out of timeouts. They have 2 linebackers lined up right here in the 2A gaps, right? And what they want these 6 guys to block those 6 guys, and they're going to bring 1 extra guy off our edge. We do a great job, though. Our offensive line, amazing job sifting it out. That's Zion Nelson in his first start, does a great job kicking back on that guy. And so you look at Gaynor, Devon, and Zion all on their guy, and DJ Dallas, a great job stepping up and taking on the A-gap rusher. So we've got a great pocket for Jaron, okay? Now, down the field, you look at the routes, okay? We've got, up top, we got a corner route. So it's amazing. You got Mike Harley for a touchdown right here in this spot, okay? And then we have a double post right here. Now, they roll out here to a 1 deep safety. They got this guy's kind of their center fielder. So you look, Jeff Thomas does a great job, sprays C.J. Henderson right there, and so that is a possibility right there. So you've got Harley for a touchdown. You potentially have Jeff for a touchdown. But Brevin is being covered by a dropping defensive end, which really is a mismatch, right? So Brevin does a nice job. He hooks it up in front of the safety. He's taught, you know, if there's a safety deep, to not continue the route deep. Gives Jaron a nice, very easy window to throw it into. Gets it into. They don't tackle very well. And it ends up being the first recipient of the touchdown rings.
The good thing was, though, too, you talk about concentration in a ball game. It's off a tip, as you mentioned. So, I mean, you got to give Brevin a little more credit than just making the right route and making a great catch.
No, there's no doubt. Yeah, because you see the ball somewhat changes. You know, it's like the old kind of change-up. You know, right now Jaron's throwing the heater, and it kind of comes in a little bit. So to stay with it right there, secure the catch, and then to be able to run through the contact right here was big for us.
All right, play number 2 is DJ Dallas, who's out of the Wildcat, a place that he has performed very well. That's the beginning of the fourth quarter, and he shows a lot of power and speed.
He does, and there's a lot of really good stuff on this play, is what you'd imagine. So we have Tate Martell in the game, so we motion Tate across, and look, you think they're concerned about Tate. Watch 2 of the Gators up top run across the line of scrimmage right now. They don't even have a guy covering KJ Osborne, right? Because they're so worried about Tate running the ball or who knows what else off of that. They've got their corner covering Jerian Williams, which is kind of silly. So they got all these guys up here, right? And so we do a nice job kind of blocking some things up, but this word just comes down to want to.
Oh, yeah.
And DJ wanting to run more than they wanted to tackle him. But there's some great signs of finishing blocks right here. I'll show you from the back end, but this is where DJ gets in the field. Great speed and gives us a lead here in the fourth quarter. Watch us from behind right here, where again, watch John Campbell right here. Again, in his first ever start as a redshirt freshman, he's going to seal down on number 88 and then be able to climb up on 33. You got DJ Scaife pulling right now for the play side backers, number 51. Good nice block out right here by Brevin Jordan, right there to kind of seal the hole. But what ends up happening is 51 gets, we don't get all the way on him, but we get enough of him where that's an arm tackle.
Right.
But now look who's left. There are 2 corners, and we wanted to make both of their corners tacklers. They don't. We fall off. We stay in it. But watch again. Remember that guy I started with, John Campbell? Watch John Campbell continue right there. See that? Because 55 might have had a chance right here, and that little nudge. So we talk about who did John Campbell block on this play? He blocked number 88. He blocked number 33. And then because he didn't quit on the play, he got a nudge on 55, which might have sprung the thing for a touchdown.
And Coach, it's fair to bring up the point. You're in an unbalanced line, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's shifted over completely. There's 2 tackles on the left-hand side.
We have both of our tackles over here, and we've got Brevin Jordan at tight end over here on this backside. So it's, again, a little bit of creativity from Coach Enos, and in games like this, that was the spark we needed to take the lead back in the fourth quarter.
And the other thing is, DJ Dallas shows his power, but also has top-end speed.
Right, and can sustain it.
Right.
Because what happens is if you're not in great condition, you'll get to here, but then you'll get tired, you'll start to slow down. So his ability to be able to maintain that top speed all the way, again, is a tribute to our strength and conditioning staff.
All right, there's a lot to the story about our last play was Romeo Finley with his interception in the fourth quarter. And it had been looking for a setup the whole night.
Yeah, so let's bring it back to the quarter before. So we're in the third quarter. All right, just the 1st and 10. This is the 3rd time they've lined up in this formation. You see, it's a little unusual. They have 4 wide receivers on this side of the field. There's no wideouts over here. This is what's called an unbalanced formation. This receiver actually right here cannot go out for a pass because he's covered up by the outside receiver. So 4 guys on one side with a back. This is the 3rd time that they've run a stretch play into the boundary out of the shotgun, but they have a screen. So if we don't put 4 defenders over here, then they'll throw the ball to this guy and they'll simply outnumber us. So this is the chess match of being able to get aligned on every play. So we're aligned. The quarterback now, he's reading us. He has no choice. Patchen does a good job. He's got a quarterback. Quarterback's going to hand the ball off. He hands the ball off. Zach McLeod's there for a minimal gain, right? Sort of a nondescript play in the game nobody would ever pay attention to. Now, all of a sudden, we get stopped on a 4th down with 4.5 minutes left in the game. We're down by 4. We need something to happen. Florida lines up in the exact same formation. Here are the 4 receivers all on one side. There's not a receiver over here. So that is actually our corner, Al Blades, now playing safety. Both of our safeties are down in coverage over here. Now, we had actually practiced this play in the build-up for the game because what they're doing now, they're faking the run. They're faking the screen. But what these guys are doing, they're fake blocking, and then they're all going to go out for passes. So this is a great eye discipline play by all the guys. First of all, Amari Carter. So Amari Carter, watch, he matches up on the inside guy, actually knocks him off stride. Trajan Bandy does a great job on the vertical guy because what they want us all to do, they want us all to fly up and try to tackle the screen. Because what they're trying to do right now, they're trying to end the game. They got the big momentum changing 4th down stop. They want to score a touchdown on this play. So because our guys, this is why the game of football is great, because our guys did the job in coverage, and everybody right now is covered up, okay? Now let's go back to what's happening up front, okay? Up front, what are they doing in a drop-back passing game, which we knew that they didn't want to get into as much as we didn't want to. Well, look what happens. Jonathan Garvin absolutely whips their tackle. He's coming around the corner. Scott Patchen is driving their right tackle right into the quarterback's lap on a power rush so he can't follow through on his throw. And either way, if he holds onto the ball for a half a count longer, he's going to get hit. He actually ends up running into John Ford as well, who's pushing on a double team right here. So a great job collapsing the pocket, making it very uneasy for the quarterback. Romeo Finley did a great job of taking away the first look until Gervin Hall can cover the guy at the top. But look at the coverage. And he throws us the ball. Now, what makes us sad is we want this to be a touchdown. We want to get one more block out here. We want to keep this ball to the outside right there. And if we had a chance to set this up and get this ball to the outside, none of these guys over here are going to make the tackle. And what an amazing play that would have been. And we work on that all the time.
And Coach, a lot of these defensive linemen, linebackers, everybody involved, they turn into offense. They're hunting heads right now.
Look at all the guys in white shirts, and we are turning around. I mean, we want to block them a lot more than they want to make the tackle, and that's why we were on both of our interceptions second half. We felt like we were one away, and we watched this on film. Look at these guys over here that have no chance. Look at Al Blade's effort right here. Just sprinting,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Just to hope that he'd have a chance to throw a block, and that's the strain and effort you want the Miami Hurricanes to play with.
All right, Coach, that'll take care of the breakdown session. We appreciate your time.
My pleasure.